I'm so happy that you guys agreed to join me. Some of you have asked me to do this. You won't be able to make it to my live session on next Saturday. Some of you are coming to the live session, but I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to actually partake in all the amazing things that we're doing here at the Little STEM Academy, and also find out some different strategies and tools that you could use in your particular school. I want to get started. If you could go ahead and drop in the chat for me exactly who's represented. So if you are from an early childhood center, or if you're from a school district, just drop the name of your school in the chat so that I can see who all is with me right now. Let's see, who do we have represented? I have a lot of people that are here locally, but I have a few people that actually are tuning in from Dallas. I had someone register from a school in Chicago. So I wanted to see who is actually with me today. Where are you coming from? The reason I'm asking this question is because we are going to talk about our state standards for science. And I just want to know what states are represented so that we could actually give you the most accurate information, and so that you can get the most meaning out of today's session. She said to make the page full. Okay, I don't see any comments in the chat. All righty, Olivia from Eminence Center. Okay, I see you, I see you. In Dallas, welcome, 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 Olivia. So is the Eminence Center, is that an early childhood center, or is that a school? Can you ask Olivia if people are on? People watching. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll just wait for those schools to be dropped. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 3 easy ways to launch your dream STEM program in 2025. So I launched my program in 2020, but it has evolved a lot. We'll actually be celebrating our 5 years in October. And I wanted to be able to share with you some of the easy ways that I've been able to do it. It is not by me alone, but it is by my team that supports me day in, day out. It is the parents in my program. We actually have a PTO. I see that it's a school that supports children with learning disabilities and tutoring and behavior challenges. That is absolutely amazing. I actually am a speech therapist by trade, so I have worked with students with all types of diverse learning styles and needs, and I see STEM as a way to actually enhance language and literacy in children, and also to teach them the higher level science and math to actually challenge them. One of the things that I hated seeing when I worked in the school district was when I would go into a life skills classroom and students would just be doing puzzles all day or cooking. And I'm like, okay, we could do more than just cook and do puzzles. And so I see STEM and experiments as a way to actually get them actively engaged, to give them access to the higher level vocabulary, and to actually make certain that we're challenging them regardless of where they are intellectually. So for those of you who don't know me, I am LJ Henderson. I am considered the gem of STEM, just a girl educating the multitudes. I have over 30 years experience in education. Some people have booked me to do keynote speaking, specifically in STEM and in education. As I said before, I'm a speech therapist by trade. I do have a partnership with T-Mobile for Education. I'll share that with you guys in just a few minutes. And also we have a nonprofit that we've established, and this is one of the ways that we're able to give back to the community by actually going on site to school districts, partnering with community organizations, be it churches or whatever, anywhere where we can serve and actually come and bring STEM to the people. That's what we use our nonprofit to do. Sometimes we actually open up our facility on Saturdays to do STEM Saturdays. So for those of you that don't really have a STEM program now, one of the ways to kind of get your family engaged and your community to know about who you are and what you're doing is to choose 3 activities that you may want to do So if you're going to have an open house, maybe you'll have a STEM carnival. So then now people can come and see the new things that you're doing at your school. You can research STEM carnivals. There's lots of different easy activities you could do using materials that you probably already have or that you can get at your local Walmart. But you want to get your community talking about what's happening at your school. And that's one of the things that we were able to do here when we had our grand opening. We invited our mayor out. We had our parents here, and some of our parents are engineers. Some of them are medical professionals. They invited people. So we got the community around us, which is going to be very essential when you start doing your program. Now, some people think that starting a STEM program is just buying goggles and lab coats for kids. That's not it. So it doesn't matter how cute the kids are. You don't just want them to play dress up. It's not a costume. So just buying the goggles and putting them in a lab coat is not having a STEM program. It is not having a STEM program. I'm going to say that again. Buying goggles and lab coats is not having a STEM program. It's the quality of instruction. So even without the goggles, even without the lab coat, what's actually in your lesson plans is what's going to make the difference in your program and in the lives of the children that you touch. So I just wanted to say that, because you'll look on social media and you'll be like, oh, I want the lab coats. Oh, where'd you get the lab coats? Oh, the goggles. And that's one part of it. But what are the students actually learning? What conversations are being held at the dinner table because of what the students learned at school? That's what's going to make the difference in your program. I'm going to share a small video with you. So this was just pretty much an overview of my program, how I got started. I actually was honored by Damon Shark from Shark Tank. And so he's kind of just telling my story just to give you guys a little background knowledge for those of you that want to know exactly.
Hi, my name is LJ Henderson. I'm the founder of Little STEM Academy and Little STEM Masters, affectionately known as the Gym of STEM. What brought about this change was actually the pandemic. So I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. I have a 24-hour childcare center. And during that time, when schools were closing down and students needed a place to go, I created the Little STEM Academy because students were having to quarantine if someone coughed in school. Remember that? And so then we had these homeschoolers that we had to pretty much educate. And I felt like I became an octomom during the pandemic because I had 8 school-age kids that I had to be responsible for educating. And I discovered gaps in their learning. And so I began doing parent workshops and developing a product so that parents can actually teach their kids math and science to stop some of those gaps that we were finding in our schools. Right now, I'm trying to globalize preschool STEM, especially in underserved communities. We all know that there's a push right now to get more girls involved in STEM, more African Americans involved in STEM. And I am doing that by going to those schools that don't have large budgets and actually working with their team and showing them how to use things that they already have on their campus and in their school to make an impact and to create innovation with those students. T-Mobile has been instrumental in my own community. They actually sponsored our STEM bus. And at the time, the STEM bus was geared toward upper elementary age students. But when I found out the bus was coming, I said, hey, wait a minute, those students are going to have siblings. And so then I too sponsored the STEM bus.
So that was just a little overview of my partnership with T-Mobile. So T-Mobile actually provides school districts with devices, be it laptops or iPads, and also making certain that they have hotspots so that if they don't have internet at home, we're not just waiting on mom to get home and use her cell phone, but students actually have Wi-Fi at home before mom gets home. And now what they've done is they've embedded those iPads with My Little STEM Experiments, which is a collection of STEM on-demand videos and experiments so that STEM continues beyond the school day. So that's just a little bit of background, but I want to hear from you guys. Olivia, if you could go ahead and drop the millimeter link in the chat. I want to move to our standards, and then we're going to ask some questions. So the reason why STEM is so important is because when students leave me right now, I service pretty much early childhood, but I also support charter schools as well. I want you guys that are in early childhood to know exactly what students are supposed to know and at what grade level. So here in the state of Texas, our state standards are called TEKS. So I've pulled up the TEKS, but you can look up whatever your state standards are called. I'm going to pull up the PDF. So for those of you that are in Texas, if you haven't seen this document before, let me know in the chat, just yes or no. Have you seen the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills? It's pretty much the standards or objective that students and teachers students are supposed to learn, and this is actually what teachers use for their lesson plans. And it starts with kinder all the way through senior high school. And it's broken down into multiple categories. But I'm just going to click on kinder for science, just so that you guys can know, if you have an early childhood center, this is what you're preparing the students to be able to do once they leave your particular program. So if you look here, it's going to tell you they have to know about matter. They have to know about weather. They have to know about life science. We do a pretty good job with life science. We do life cycle of a butterfly in early childhood. As they get older, they actually do more biology. They get into dissections in the 7th grade. We found a way to actually expose our early childhood students to that. They have to identify and demonstrate safe practices by using goggles, things like that. But now let's get into the scientific investigations. They have to ask questions about organisms and objects and events. They have to plan and conduct descriptive investigations, such as the way that objects move. They have to collect data and make observations using simple equipment such as hand lenses, balances. Now they have to get into scientific reasoning. I'm going to just scroll through these, but look at matter and energy. I don't know how many of you have looked at your lesson plans recently, if y'all are using Frog Street or some other early childhood creative curriculum, but we want to make certain that our curriculums are robust, or if not, we find a supplement to make certain that our kids are being exposed. They're supposed to observe and record properties of objects, including relative size, mass, such as bigger or smaller. They also have to explore force, motion, and energy using the 5 senses. They have to know about Earth and space. They have to know about organisms and environments, differentiating between living and non-living things, sorting plants. So these are just some of the things that they expect students to do by the time they are 5 years old. So for those of you that have those students with late birthdays, you want to make certain that you are exposing them and you know what the state is requiring of you, so that when kids leave your school, then the school district know that that student is ready. And that's one of the ways that you can make certain that you have a robust program and that you keep your enrollment up, because they know if a student comes to your school, then they're leaving prepared. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you had to explain the word STEM, so menti.com is what we're going to use. If you just click on that link, you'll see these questions. And if it asks you for a code, Olivia, if you could just put the code in the chat. You may not have to use a code if you just click on that link. If you click on that link, the first question asks, how would you explain STEM without using the words science, technology, engineering, and math? So what is STEM without using the acronym STEM? If you had to explain it, what word comes to mind? Just put one word that comes to mind when you think of STEM. Innovation, yes. It's fun. It's innovation. Bubbles, yes. We could teach students how to make bubbles using glycerin and dish soap. We actually have an experiment that we've done with students doing that. All right. We're going to go on to, oh, it's messy. Yes, but it's fun messy though. So don't be afraid of the mess. Don't be afraid of the mess. All right. I need one more response and then we'll move on. If you've already answered, you can just put another thing in there. I think STEM is the future. So when you think of the word fun, messy, innovative, cutting, think of bubbles, it's exciting. How many of these words would you use to describe your program? Would you use innovation to describe your program? Would you tell people that your program is exciting, that students will get to have fun? They'll get to do hands-on lessons like making bubbles. They're going to get messy and creative because at this stage in their development, this is what students are supposed to do during this stage of their learning. So when you think about marketing your STEM program or talking about what's happening in your classrooms, think about exactly what STEM is. STEM is innovation. STEM is exciting. STEM is cutting edge technology, or you can use scissors and cut. STEM can be fun. But you want people saying these things about your program as you begin to market your STEM program and introduce STEM. And you don't have to change everything all at once, just a little bit at a time. Someone put bubbles in there. We can all research or Google a simple experiment on how to make bubbles. And that can be an experiment that you could do. And so you're saying, hey, we're going to start introducing STEM at least once a week or once a month. So then we're going to have a bubble day. And then maybe you contact a company that does the big foam parties, and then they dump like 2 tons of bubbles in your playground area, and the students put on their swimsuits and they run through a field of bubbles after they've had an opportunity to actually make the bubbles with the dish soap and glycerin. If you guys are interested in that recipe, I can actually send that to you guys because we've already done it. And that's one of the experiments that I give out all the time. So if you want that, just put yes in the chat and I'll be sure that we get that out to you. Next question. It's not advancing. Okay, think about your confidence level. So I'm going to be honest with you. I never considered myself as a STEM person. Like, my major was not science. My major was not biology. When I got ready to go to college, I looked at my degree program and I said, which program can I go through that has the least amount of math and the least amount of science? And that's how I chose my degree. Honestly, like when I was doing speech therapy and I had to take trigonometry, I was like, okay, that's as far as and as high as math as I can go. And I never felt strong in math because my early on experiences in math weren't fun. My teachers weren't fun. I never felt confident. Like, I could read, write, and spell. I was almost a spelling bee champ, but I never felt confident in math. So whenever it came time for math, I was shut down. How many of you as teachers or as directors feel that same way? If you can think about your own childhood experiences, like, did you have a good experience in science and math? For a lot of us, we didn't. And honestly, that's why so many of us struggle with teaching kids STEM, because of our own experiences. So I want us to get rid of that fear, and I want us to answer this question. What's your current confidence level when it comes to implementing STEM in your program today? If we had to do, hey, I'm ready to dive in right now, or I'm confident, but I could use some support, or I need guidance to get started. Just click on one of those. I just want to see where everyone is with your confidence level. So you can click on either one and then the graph will begin to change. Okay, so right now, 50% of you are saying that you're confident, but you could use some support. Okay. Okay. Let's go on to the next question. So the next question asks, what challenges are you currently facing in STEM? Amani, look at my phone. So what challenges are you facing? Do you not have resources? Do you not have training? Do you not know where to start? So what challenges are you facing? You could actually choose some of the things that we've put on the bottom. Do you have a lack of hands-on resources for your students? Teachers feeling unprepared to teach STEM? Yes, limited classroom time for STEM activities. Difficulty in engaging students with STEM concepts. Fear of disrupting the class with new STEM stuff, right? So 100% of you have said that your teachers feel unprepared to teach STEM. And that's because it's not really what we've done, right? We haven't really given them opportunities. And in our field, especially in early childhood, there are not very many STEM trainings besides the ones that I've been doing lately, specifically for our age group. I'll actually be presenting at Frog Street for the 3rd year in a row. So if you're going to Frog Street, I'll be there. But also, if you're in the city or would like to participate, I'm having a STEM summit on next Saturday from 9 to 12, and it's open to directors, teachers. I'll have a few principals here, and I'm going to share some STEM resources. I have someone that has written a book about AI for teachers. One of my former STEM students actually published her own book called The STEM Train. So she'll be here. We'll actually get to tour my school and actually go inside of the labs and do hands-on experiments. All of you will leave with experiments that you could do immediately in your classroom. So if you have a rock star teacher, or if you have a teacher that's afraid, then you guys want to be here on January 18th, and we'll share that information if you haven't already registered. I know some of you have registered, but we do still have, I think, 3 more discount tickets available. The regular cost is $99, but with the coupon code, it's 50% off if you use the code WIZARD, because our theme is the Wizard of Oz. And I'm asking everyone to wear their ruby red sneakers, stilettos, or shoes, or whatever you have, just to represent Dorothy. So it's going to be super cool. We're going to discover innovation on the Yellow Brick Road to Innovation on next Saturday, January 18th. So what's one benefit you hope to see in your teachers with STEM? Let's talk about that. Do you want them to have more confidence in teaching? Do you want better student engagement? Do you want improved classroom management? Do you want more creative lessons? Or do you just want to see them more enthusiastic about STEM? Now, I'll tell you, when I started my program, people looked at me like I had horns on my head. They're like, there's no way you're going to get 3-year-olds to do STEM. Like, that's too early. Those kids have a lifetime to learn that. When I look at other countries and other cultures, those kids are doing it at an early age. So why can't we? And when I look at the current math and science scores in middle school and in high school, the reason that the scores are the way they are is because we wait too late to expose students to STEM, which is why I am the preschool STEM pioneer. And I will talk to as many early childhood providers as I can and work with many elementary school districts as I can to get our kids excited about science and math so that they can actually perform well in those academic subjects later on. So the next question, I don't see any answers yet. One benefit you hope to see in your teachers with STEM. Do you want better student engagement? Do you want improved classroom management? Do you want more creative lessons? What do you need? Tell me what your needs are, and I'll see how I can support. So someone said more creative lessons. I got you on the lessons. Student engagement. I found that if you are excited about teaching and if you're showing the kids something new, it really decreases classroom management. So a lot of times, like, I've had kids that people have labeled as ADHD. I've had some kids that are literally on the spectrum, like diagnosed on the AU spectrum with neurodivergent needs. When I tell you that their behavior and their attention and their focus is so much better when they're in the STEM room than when they're actually in our ELA lab, it's like night and day because they're waiting for what's next. They're wanting to explore. You know, we have a lot of boys that are considered ADHD because they like to tear things up or rip things apart. They're just discovering how to build things. So we have to find a way to channel their energy in a positive way. But if we're going to continue to do the same worksheets day after day and do the same circle time boards and never change up our instructions and don't send our teachers to get better training, and as we as leaders and directors don't make investments in our program, then our kids are suffering. And your teachers are going to continue to feel overwhelmed and undervalued because it's a struggle every day to get the students to engage. And we want to eliminate that. So how much is a simple solution worth to you? Not sure. I probably forget to use it anyway. Or honestly, it's priceless for stress relief. Answer that question and then we'll jump back into the webinar. All right, it's priceless. Yay! All right, it is priceless. Oh. So we've talked about knowing our science standards. So today, what are we going to do in our last few minutes together? We're going to kick off our STEM with confidence. We're going to talk about fun, simple experiments that excite our students. I'm actually going to show you some of the videos on the step-by-step instructions that we actually share in our State of STEM, in our STEM Masters portal so that you guys can easily download and use in your classroom if you're looking for a simple solution to get involved. Our motto is AEIOU. We make STEM easy for you. AEIOU. We make STEM easy for you. So we have an easy, simple solution so you can easily implement STEM into your program regardless of what curriculum you're using. And I want to show you that today. And I want to empower you with tools to make teaching a breeze so that your teachers feel the support that they need and you as well. So let's talk about some things that may be holding you back. We kind of went through that in our questions. So some teachers fear class disruptions. They think that experiments or going to be too messy. That was one of the words that y'all put in there. I already know what y'all are going to say. Yes, it's messy. And then teacher uncertainty. Teachers often lack the confidence to teach STEM subjects effectively. So with our videos and with our trainings, we've been able to boost teacher confidence. As you can see, I'm always excited about STEM. So if you're excited, they're excited. If the teachers get excited, the students are excited, and it just makes learning so much fun. And then the impact on education. You miss out on essential science and math if you don't do those hands-on experiments, because students learn by what? By doing. So we talked about our confidence level in implementing STEM. Many of you pretty much said you're like 50% there, but I want to tell you why STEM is important. So look at this picture. Who knows who this lady is standing 2 persons over from me? So of course that's me on the end in the lab coat. I'm standing next to a lady, but who's that lady standing next to the lady with the peacock kimono on? Who is she? Oh, why can't I see the responses? Put it in the chat. Who is that? Yes, Jennifer Hudson Show. So yes, I was on the Jennifer Hudson Show with one of my students. So one of my students, a little guy there that you see with the glasses on and the Morehouse hoodie, his name is Chandler Hughes. He came to my school when he was only 3 years old. At the age of 6 years old, he was inducted into a genius society. That genius society is called Mensa, M-E-N-S-A. I'll say it again, M-E-N-S-A. And once he was inducted, he was at that time one of the youngest students to be inducted into the Genius Society. And so it became like national news, and everyone had him on all talk shows all over the world. And Jennifer Hudson's show got whiff of it, and they wanted to actually meet this brilliant kid. And so his father was able to get 6 tickets. And he said, Miss Henderson, you know, we wouldn't be here without you planting the seed in his life at an early age. You saw something in him that we didn't see. And we just began to foster his love for math, his love for science, because when Chandler was here, we actually did hands-on experiments where he actually got to do real dissections with organs. He got to work with our engineers in our lab. And so now he's actually saying that he wants to be a medical doctor because he wants to help people. So when we got the invitation to go, I only could have 2 tickets. And for those of you that know me, you know, I have a husband. And so I was thinking, oh, me and Bay gonna go to the Jennifer Hudson Show. And then I was convicted because I was like, Bay has been here with me the whole time, right? But I thought that it was more important and more valuable for the teacher that actually taught Chandler to go to the Jennifer Hudson Show. And so his teacher was who I took with me to the Jennifer Hudson Show. Not my bae, but his teacher. So when you think about teachers sometimes never get their flowers, or they never really get to see the impact that they made on a student, especially at such a young age. It was only right and only fitting. She had been teaching probably for 30 years and never, ever, ever got her flowers. And so I took the teacher that taught Chandler. Now the teacher, the lady standing next to me is his grandma. That's not his teacher, but I did take the teacher. But they actually were able to let us get a picture with her on the stage. They said that the link isn't working. Is there another link? If we could drop the link, it's the link to the workshop isn't working. So the link to the workshop is littlestemlab.com/stateofstem25. littlestemlab.com/stateofstem25. That's for next Saturday, January 18th. So this is why STEM is important, is because you are planting seeds during the child's most critical period of brain development to actually start them. So when you think about starting your STEM program, I'll tell you how I started mine. So you can steal my blueprint if you want to. So I started my STEM program with an early childhood teacher. I hired 2 engineers, full-time engineers. I had a mechanical engineer, a civil engineer, and this was actually during the pandemic. So I was able to hire them for pennies on the dollar because they weren't able to work during that time. So we were able to develop our entire curriculum the first year that we opened using those skilled professionals. But now I can't continue to keep full-time engineers multiple engineers at one time. So I do have one engineer on my team, but I'll tell you the secret. Y'all want the secret? Y'all want the secret? Y'all want the secret? Okay, students. So you hire STEM students. You hire skilled professionals. When you think about the students that are winning the robotics competitions in high school, those of you that are in state regulated like child care centers, y'all know that they have to have their high school diploma in order to work, but you hire college students for 2 to 3 hours a day. And it doesn't have to be every day. You work according with their schedule and you let them come in and lead the STEM lessons working alongside your early childhood teacher. So now your early childhood teacher is empowered because she has someone that knows the content more than her. She knows how to teach, but when they work together, it actually improves the soft skills for the engineers and the medical students, because a lot of times they're brainiacs. And if you've ever been to a doctor that kind of talks above your head, it's because they lack those soft skills. So now we're getting those students and we're giving them those soft skills because we're like, okay, y'all watched the movie with Denzel Washington when he said, break it down to me like I'm a 4-year-old. That's what we're able to do when we work together and plan together. So we can take this huge concept, core vocabulary words, working together. How can we break it down to a 4-year-old? And I'm going to demo how we've been able to do that in some of our videos. But the key to starting your STEM program is going to be your staff. If right now you don't want to outsource and hire STEM students or engineers or medical, I don't know exactly what type of STEM program you want to have. I do all types of STEM. So we don't just do medical. We don't just do engineering. We do it all here. So I hire a variety of part-time STEM instructors to work alongside my early childhood providers. But you can actually start with your basic team and have STEM resources like some of the ones that I provide, and you guys can just plug and play using our videos, our resources, our lesson plans. They're easy to use. I've used pretty much the common concepts that students are taught at this particular age. So it's real easy to use and easy to implement. And then once you're at a level to where you're like, okay, I want my program to be robust, then you can add in a STEM instructor. And again, you pay them at an hourly rate. They're considered contract because they're only coming in to do STEM, and they come in, they do an amazing job. Sometimes their schedules do change, but the key to starting your STEM program is going to be your staff, getting the buy-in from your teachers. So that may mean that you need some PD training, either with me or someone else that does PD for STEM. And you need to make certain that you empower your teachers and show them how simple it is. And the best way to show them how simple it is to put them in an environment where they can actually do the experiments and actually have the hands-on stuff. And so that's one of the reasons that we're having the State of STEM Summit on the 18th, because I'll be demoing that, and we'll have more as the year goes on. But I wanted to kick off the beginning of the year with the way for all of us to kind of boost up our programs. All righty. So one of the things that I'm going to give you, you can go ahead and drop the link if you haven't already, Olivia, is this checklist. So in this checklist, these are common things that I think that every STEM lab or STEM center, if you have centers in your classroom, need to have. And they're common things that you probably already have. We're going to give you this particular download so you can look to see what things you already have and what things you may want to have. A lot of people think that, oh, in order to have a STEM program, I have to have a huge budget. You don't have to have a huge budget. You can use things that you already have in order to start your STEM program. Someone put bubbles in the chat earlier. You may have to buy glycerin, but you can buy glycerin from Walmart. You have dish soap because your cook is washing dishes every day. Those two things, you can actually make bubbles for the kids. So these are just some simple staples that I would say keep in your STEM lab or kind of pull together. These are things that we use and repurpose for multiple experiments, but we're going to give you that little checklist. You don't have to get everything on that list, but when you look on it, you'll be like, we already have this. Oh, what can we do with this? And then I could share with you some experiments that you could do with these things that you probably already have in your classroom. And the thing is that I want you to know that STEM doesn't have to be expensive and that STEM can be easy. Okay. So I'm going to show you how our STEM on Demand videos are easy for schools. So I'm going to share with you one of our videos. The impact that it has on education is that students will no longer have to miss out on science and math because they'll have it because we've made it easy for you with our STEM on Demand videos. So at this time, we're going to play one of our videos.
Welcome to Little STEM Masters Experiments. Explore STEM with your students through our engaging platform. Covering biology, chemistry, engineering, and more, each topic features experiments with instructional videos led by our STEM instructors and downloadable step-by-step guides, along with a list of supplies you'll need for the experiment. Download the document, watch the video, and dive into the world of STEM with your student. Easily track progress and navigate your way to becoming a STEM master. An interactive and user-friendly experience awaits, making STEM easy, exciting, and engaging for both teachers and students. Start your STEM journey today.
So this was an overview of our portal that kind of shows you that we have a portal with over 50 different lessons that you can easily do with your students. And we can share that with you later if we can get out of this some money. Now I'm actually going to show you a video on gravity. Go back to the video. Sorry.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to STEM with Stanley. Today I have a special friend with us. I have Stanley, and I also have one of our STEM students, Zuri, who's going to help us with our experiment today. Today we're learning about how to do an egg drop experiment. So she's going to be helping me and Stanley and Miss Becky. So Zuri, wave to everyone, tell them hello.
Hi.
So she's going to help us. Today, the key words that I want you guys to focus on are force and gravity. I hope you guys have all of your supplies together. You should have egg, balloons, rubber bands, maybe cotton balls, and some cups for today's experiment. So we're going to talk about air resistance and gravity. The air frictional force that slows an object as it moves through the air. So this will be an invisible force. Then gravity is an invisible force that pulls objects towards the center of the earth. Just like when you have a parachute, you're getting pulled towards the center of the earth. Once a parachute explodes, you're getting pulled towards the center of the earth so you can land safely. That's why we have parachutes.
But we have to protect our egg in order to not make it not crack.
Zuri, can you count the eggs for us and tell us how many eggs we have? Stanley, do you want to help Zuri count the eggs?
I think Stanley said yes.
Yes, I think Stanley said yes too. Let's count the eggs. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we have 6 eggs, but we're only using how many? 1. We're protecting our eggs from the force of gravity by putting the cotton balls in it to protect the shell. So let's see, how many cotton balls you put in there? 1. How many? 10.
10.
All righty.
And,
You're gonna protect the egg.
Right?
yeah.
Stanley, do you see our egg? Do you see our egg? So we're not just gonna set the egg on top. We have to kind of protect it. So we're going to make sure that the cotton balls are around the egg to protect it. So Miss Becky is adding some more cotton balls, as you can see. You guys can see. So we're gonna make certain that there's cotton balls all around here to protect that shell.
And the egg is never gonna fall and break.
Yeah, so the egg will never fall and break. Good job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop it. Okay, let's see if it's protected. Where's the egg?
Is it safe?
It's safe!
Good job, Zuri. High five. High five.
Okay, go to the. Okay, so that was an example of how we took a gravity lesson and we talked about force. We gave background information about parachutes, but that's just one of the things. Remember when I showed you guys the state standards where we talked about students have to be exposed to energy and force? We use our gravity experiment to actually make certain that we're preparing the students for those standards. So when they leave our program, they will have already, one, had exposure to core academic vocabulary and also actually doing an experiment. And Zuri has been gone from our school for 2 years, but I'm sure she's going to remember that particular experiment using things that we already have. I know y'all have cotton balls. I know y'all have cups. We all have the Sam's cups, right? We have rubber bands. We did those oversized chart paper. You may not have that. You don't have to do that. But we use that a lot of times as the teachers actually get their anchor charts together, because in kinder, teachers use anchor charts. You could also use a dry erase board, but that's just one of the ways that you want to show the kids what they're going to be learning. So we don't just start with the experiment. We do the background knowledge. We may read a book about it. We may look at a video about it, and then they get to do the hands-on lesson to make certain that they're retaining the information. Do you think that your kids would like to do something like that? If so, give me a yes, yes in the chat. And you'll just type yes, yes, if you think your students would like to do something like that. So again, we have an entire library of experiments like that. I'm actually going to demo an experiment live for you today. I'm going to go ahead and demo an experiment for you today. So I have a bowl. I'm going to use, it's so cold right now in Texas. They said that we may get some snow. I see someone, I think that's Tracy. She's in Texas. I don't know if she's in the Dallas area, but somebody's in the Dallas area. And I know it snows there, but this is one of the things that we did for the students. We actually went to the museum and did this for Sensory Day for students that were on the autism spectrum. And we actually showed them how to make snow. And this is something you can do in your classroom. The thing is I always like to tie experiments to career. So when you think about it, what profession, what STEM career will a student be exposed to? Who would talk about snow? What profession would talk about snow? Who is it that we get our weather from, right? Someone put it in the chat. Who do we get our weather knowledge from? When you wake up in the morning, you turn on the TV, you're looking for the what? It starts with an M, ends with ologist. Who is it? Yes, a meteorologist. So we can go to circle time, when we go over circle time with our students and we go over the different seasons and we talk about how it feels outside. We could say, oh, well, we may not have snow right now, but sometimes we will get snow. And so maybe some of the things you may want to put in your classroom may be hand mittens. You may want to put earmuffs, because a lot of times students don't really get to wear earmuffs in Houston. You may want to get gloves, boots, or whatever, but then they can also make snow. So I have Insta Snow here. So I just have one little scoop of Insta Snow. To reinforce math, I'm going to show you a variety of cups. So these cups you can actually get in a pack of 50 on Amazon, and it's different measurements on here, and you can reuse, recycle. This is one of the ones from our kitchen. And so it actually has milliliters on here. It has cups on here, and it has ounces. I like this one because you can actually talk to students about conversion, but we need 2 ounces of water. So I'm going to pour 2 ounces. I poured a little too much. So I'm gonna pour some out. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's my 2 ounces of water. But if I turn this, it's 2 ounces of water is 1/4 of a cup. And it is between 50 and 75 milliliters. 2 ounces is between 50 and 75 milliliters. So I'm thinking it's gonna fall between 60. But I like this one because you could talk about multiple conversions, and of course, that's math. So now we're going to pour our water into the Insta Snow. We're going to see what happens. All right, do y'all see what happened? Now watch this. We just made snow in Houston on a Tuesday with the Gym of STEM. So can you imagine if you did this with your students? And a little bit goes a long way. So we actually did it in our sand water table. We brought in shovels for them to actually make it. If you leave it out too long, it will begin to turn back to water. But we talked about meteorology. So they were exposed to a STEM career. They actually got to make the snow. Do you know that this is the same stuff that they actually put in diapers? So everyone that has a childcare center, y'all have diapers. It's the same stuff that's in the diapers. I've already kind of pre-cut this one, and I put some in water earlier today. So it's the same stuff that they put in diapers. You see the little particles falling? It's the exact same stuff. And so I did some earlier just so that you could see this is the exact same stuff that they use to put in diapers. So that's why it kind of keeps the kids protected. but you can also do Insta Snow. So you could go online to get you some Insta Snow. And that is one simple experiment that you can do with your students. And like I said, a little bit goes a long way. You can do Christmas in July if you want to do it for summertime. They'll have an exciting time doing that. Just a simple, easy experiment that you can do. Did y'all like that? Y'all like the Insta Snow? How do I get that? All right. I probably should have told y'all this may take longer than 30 minutes, but we're going to keep on moving along. I don't have to tell you why teachers love our programs, but if you want to see that, then we can discuss that later. But this is just a testimonial. If you go to my YouTube page, Olivia, if you could drop my YouTube in the chat, you can see some other experiments that we've done as well on my YouTube channel. If you want to follow me over there on YouTube, if you could drop that in the chat for me, Olivia. I believe that STEM. We're not gonna do that. All righty. So now I'm going to show you guys one more experiment. So if y'all want to see one more, put ones in the chat, put ones in the chat, put ones in the chat. I'm going to show you one more experiment that's inside of our portal using things that I'm sure you already have in your center or in your school. So this one is called the exploding rocket.
So today we're going to be making a bottle rocket using a bottle. We'll be using some pencils to help stabilize our bottle. We're going to use some masking tape to wrap around and stick our pencils to our bottle. So how we're going to make it erupt is using baking soda and vinegar. It's going to be a chemical reaction, bottle rocket. And then we have a cork to hold everything in place. What do we build? What is this?
It looks like a rocket.
It's our rocket. What are we gonna do with our rocket?
Put baking soda and vinegar in it.
And what does baking soda and vinegar do?
Explode!
We're gonna be doing a bottle rocket. Are y'all ready?
Yeah!
What are we doing?
A chemical reaction! It's gonna explode.
What is vinegar? An acid.
Yeah, acid.
Good job. Is vinegar a solid, liquid, or gas?
Liquid.
And then in here, I have my baking soda. What is baking soda? Baking soda, an acid or a base?
A base.
A base. Good job.
Solid and a base. Solid and a base.
All right, y'all ready?
If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to my channel and share it across the web. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can always be alerted whenever there's more STEM-tastic content.
All righty. Did y'all like that one? So the bottle rocket is not for indoors. As you can see, once the chemicals react, the vinegar and the baking soda, it will blast off. Like, I can't tell you how far in the air it went. It literally will blast off. And we use a bottle. I think there was one of the teachers' leftover water bottles. We used the chubby pencils. Y'all probably have the chubby pencils in your writing center already. We had masking tape, the cork. I think we got that one from Hobby Lobby, but some of you may have corks at home. That's not my business, but you can recycle those corks from your bottles at home, or you can go to Hobby Lobby or Amazon, wherever you choose to get your corks from. And there you have it, a simple experiment. Baking soda, you have baking soda, I'm sure, and you have vinegar at home or in your school. So again, STEM does not have to be expensive. Easy ways for you to start your program is to just get started. And start with something simple. Start with materials you already have. Look at the checklist that I shared with you today and find out different experiments that you can use. So if you want to do, let's say, experiments using baking soda and vinegar, just Google baking soda and vinegar experiments. It's going to give you some. If you see something else on the list, experiments using XYZ, easy way to get started. But if you want to take the guesswork out of it, I have 10 curriculum units already done for you that easily integrate with whatever curriculum you're actually using. And for those of you that are in Texas that are doing TRS or looking for high quality, this is an easy way to make certain that your school does have high quality. My 24-hour childcare center, we actually have our 4 stars. And one of the things that the mentor and the evaluator said was that they loved the fact that we had science, and we had science in every classroom, even the baby room. So our babies, our toddlers, our 2s, 3s, and 4s all had STEM centers in our particular school. And we use many of the things that are on that checklist that I showed you, real objects, real containers from the objects that we use to keep the kids safe. So if you want access to the STEMtastic bundle, again, she just dropped a link for that. It's 10 units. It's going to give you a video. It's going to give you a supply list, and it's going to give you the instructions on how to easily do it. And I think it's less than $20 a unit if you want to get that for your school. I think she just dropped the link in there. And for those of you that have not already gotten your tickets to the Yellow Brick Road to Innovation, there is still time to come ease on down the road with me next Saturday and to just have more FaceTime with me, to ask me more specific questions about your program. You can also book a coffee with me. I don't know if we put my coffee with LJ chat in there, but you can actually respond to the email that we sent or reach out to me if you're not already following me on social media. I am LJ Henderson. It went away. I'm LJ Henderson on all social media platforms. You can follow my school, Little STEM Academy, on all platforms as well. And the Yellow Brick Road to Innovation is taking place in the Pearland area, which is about 15 minutes from downtown Houston. You can still get tickets. I think if you use code WIZARD, again, it'll give you that 50% off. I am going to come off of, well, I'm going to let you guys come off mute to ask me any questions. I'll take about 4 questions, and then I'll let you guys go. I will be having other kind of lunch and learn things like this as well to kind of stay in touch with you guys, because I really want to make certain that you have a STEMtastic program and you have the support that you need. There's no need for you to try to figure it out by yourself. I'm your girl, the Gem of STEM, and I want to make it easy for you. So any way that I can support what you're doing at your particular school, I am here to help. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But if anyone has any questions, Olivia, if you could allow them to come off of mute to ask their questions. Oh, I'm sorry. They said that you can't come off mute, that you have to drop it in the chat. But I will answer the questions if you put them in the chat. How about that? Okay, so we have 3 minutes. So I'll take any questions that you may have right now for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed learning with me today. Just a recap. So the best way for you to start your STEM program is to identify your staff and your team. We, like I said, we found many of our team members just on a contract basis. I have some students that only work on Tuesday and Thursday, so they work 4 hours a week. And now I can really say I have a STEM program because I have a STEM professional on my team for 4 hours a week. For someone to enhance your program, it's priceless. You can choose what dollar amount you're going to pay them. We posted ads on Indeed for STEM instructors, and pretty much if they have a strong science or math background, we interview them. We tell them to come in and prepare a lesson. I look over the lesson, and if I think that they can add value to the program, then I'll give them an opportunity. So the way to start your STEM program is to start with your team and to make sure that you have resources. Any questions for me? I'm not seeing any questions, but you can always email me at info@littlestemacademy.com if you have any questions. But if you have a question, they're giving me a time signal that I have 1 minute and 45 seconds. So type fast. And if any of you that are on the call are actually coming to the summit, just drop the word ticket in there so I know that you have your ticket, and I'll look for your name. If you've already purchased your ticket and you'll be coming to the summit. Yeah, and if you missed it today, you can watch the replay, or if you want to share this with someone on your team, the replay will be available. Okay, we're at the 1 minute mark. Are there any questions that you have about STEM, about your program, about something that I mentioned? Ticket. All right, Tracy. I'll see you on Saturday. And then also you can share with your STEM team. We also have, for those of you that are still on, we're going to send you a little thank you. If you could, Olivia, if you can make a list of who's still on, I'm going to have a special thing sent to their email today, and it'll be a bundle with 4 experiments that you can download and actually start doing in your program as early as tomorrow. One of those will be the instructions on how to make bubbles with students that I mentioned to you earlier. And the other one will be simple things that you probably already have or something that's on that checklist that you can easily do. So you can at least have 4 experiments that you can do to go ahead and get started. All righty. Well, that is our time. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you have a STEM-tastic Tuesday, and I'll see you guys online. Take care. Have a good day.